Hi, everyone. Thankful to have you here this Tuesday, which is also the 21st day of July, August, bearing down on us, as is increased shower chances weather-wise, making the jump to that subject. And we'll talk about temperatures backing off to the upper 80s just for a few days, and then getting back to that 90-degree mark and a bit above. Actually, we'll have an 80-degree day that will feel closer to the mid-90s anyway, so I'm not quite sure there's going to be a great deal of difference, except to maybe saying it makes us all feel a little better, a little cooler. Don't know if I can even go that far. I've got a great deal of news that won't make the show tonight for time constraint reasons. It's half an hour, and I get asked all the time, make it an hour. Not physically, humanly, mentally possible, but thanks for the vote of confidence. Nevertheless, we do have Sagersville City Council coverage from last night. The McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting this evening. We'll have coverage of those two meetings beginning tomorrow, among other items on the agenda, discussing possibly using, as did Johnson County, some of the CARES funding to be dispersed among local businesses. We'll have an updated report for you on that and a variety of other topics covered in those meetings. I also have some other important news that we have to work on, and that's as far as I can go with those stories as of right now, gathering more information. Tonight, however, we will spend, as we sadly often do every day to some degree, talking about the coronavirus and COVID-19. Two major cases today, if you will. One related to a trip to a family reunion out of state that has resulted thus far in two positive cases and actually translated into county offices being closed for a few days. Another set of public service offices closed for the foreseeable future, possibly as long as 2 weeks, related to another case, technically a Johnson County case, but I'll tell you how it ties to McGoffin County and those offices and where those offices are in just a few seconds. We'll have a great deal to talk about. I didn't have the exact numbers for me last evening. They're continuing to grow. I know that I have touched on, as has the governor, as has many other health officials as well. But one of the circumstances, if you will, or examples of the coronavirus spreading in our young people, the Hazard Independent Football Program. They believe from a family who traveled out of state on vacation, bringing it back, their student going to the weight room, and from there, to date, that has now increased from initially 7 or 9 individuals to a total of 38 people. That breaks down to 18 members of the football team, at least 3 members of the coaching staff, and I believe 18 of the family members which were in close contact with those individuals, mostly students, and have since tested positive. That's nearly 40 people who have tested positive out of a case where individuals returned from a vacation and then were in close contact with their fellow students or team members, if you will, and staff, and that is of concern to health officials in Kentucky. The governor today announcing the second highest date. We've heard that a lot, but again, setting the second highest daily number of COVID-19 cases. We'll get to him in just a few moments, but right after these messages, it's local officials that will tell us all the details they can in regards to several positive cases in just the past 24 hours and how contact tracing has resulted in those offices that I before referred to being closed and a number of individuals being tested or urged to quarantine. I'll be right back.
We let out a Kingsport in the middle of the night. We was playing country music, treating people right. When the amplifiers are cooled down, the guitars put away. I put that Vic in the hammer lane, and this is what I'll say. Well, that road is long, and my country music, treating people right.
The seasonal shop is open, and they're still doing curbside pickup, so you can call and place orders, and they'll still bring them out to you. And inside, you'll find all new merchandise throughout the entire store, all new spring and summer women's clothing from Charlie Page and Mud Pie, accessories, jewelry, shoes, and bags too, casual outfits for everyday or special occasion outfits and dresses. And if you've been home a lot and really want to freshen up your decor, they have so much to choose from, and they're happy to give you any fresh ideas that you might need. And just in, a large selection of Simply Southern and Candleberry at Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop in downtown Sagersville. Oh, it's what a lot of you have been waiting for. They're back, but only for a limited time. Loaded potato wedges at your Sagersville Lee's famous recipe. That's right, our famous hand-cut homemade potato wedges smothered in cheddar cheese, real crispy bacon, topped with either sour cream or ranch, your choice. And they're still only $2.49 with tax. Get them while you can at your Sagersville Lee's. Tire in Staffordsville is now a proud partner of Rough Country for all of your suspension and lift kit applications. And you can always go to conleytire.net to get the latest offers. Like right now, $100 when you buy a set of Mickey Thompsons, $100 on a set of Continentals, and many, many more summer deals, including $35 computer diagnostics. That's Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. So two different cases, if you will, affecting two different offices or places of work in Magoffin County. Actually three at least, and all being closed for at least the foreseeable future. We'll begin with what was said to be, according to our public health director in Magoffin County, an employee at the Department of Child Protection Services, which is just across the way there, across catty corner, if you will, from the newsroom and Sagersville Independent offices. Mayor Pete Shepard, our public health director, unsure of the exact reason of the scenario, but says that scenario was that a new employee was tested one day last week, started a new job at the Sagersville office the following day, those test results coming at a later day, and then learning of those yesterday has resulted in the Department of Child Protection Services being closed now for the next 2 weeks.
Last week, Social Services hired two new personnel, one from Johnson County who started on Thursday. She was tested on Wednesday for the coronavirus and tested positive on Friday. Johnson County Health Department evidently got the information on Monday because this individual does live in Johnson County and notified Social Services that they did have a positive case and that she had direct contact with most of the employees in the office. At that time, I talked with Steve Salmons, and what they've decided to do is send all the employees that were there that day home for 14 days.
The Department of Child Protective Services and the other associated offices inside provide a vital service to the Magoffin County area, and we'll find out how they're going to try to continue to provide those services. But as far as any clients or public were concerned in regards to exposure, the office says Shepard was still operating with very limited public contact, as they have been for the past several months.
They said the office would be closed down, and they haven't given me any information now about if they're going to have somebody else come in and staff it or not. They pretty well kept it locked down over there. They done everything on the phone, mostly all the business on the phone, and if they did come in, there was a window between the people in social services and the people that came in. And also, most of the people came in, they were required to wear a mask. The only problem with what Social Services had was most of the employees while they were at work was not wearing masks, and that's why most of those have been sent home.
Now, the other case, which has developed in the past 24 hours since I saw you last evening, according to local officials, involves two women who live in the same household as well as 5 children, and an additional 3 other adults who also stay or live there. I'm uncertain. Of course, as to HIPAA, we have no exact details, but have at least been in close contact with the 2 women and the children. 2 positive results thus far, with others showing symptoms, at least one serious symptoms. All this traced back, says Shepard, to a family reunion in Ohio, and 2 of those adults work for the county.
Last night about 8 o'clock we got a call from Paul B. Hall, I think it was, to Felicia, whose my contact person for the coronavirus, that there were 2 new positive cases in McGoffin County, so we started contacting them last night. These individuals had been to Ohio for a family gathering and church services, and they were, I think, 5 in the family, 5 adults and maybe 5 kids. So when they got back from Ohio, they called from Ohio and said, we got positive cases up here, then you need to be checked. 2 of these individuals went to the doctor's office, got tested, and we got results back last night that they were both positive. So we've got individuals, at least 10 close family members that have been in contact with 2 positives. And at this time we're having more people tested because unfortunately 2 of the individuals that was with this family are county road workers, and they are being tested to see if they are positive, and then we'll go from there. If they've not tested positive, then they're still going to be quarantined, and I've talked with Judge Warman about what will happen with the rest of the road workers when we get that information back.
As for all those involved in that same household, the shepherd tells me that most all are showing symptoms, some with cough, some with fevers and coughs, one much more serious with some pulmonary issues, possibly even pneumonia and the coronavirus as well. As for the county employees, Judge Matt Wireman says that out of an abundance of caution, they will be closing the road department and the recycling center for at least the next few days.
The duties of the gentlemen are varied, but they're primarily not equipment operators, which they can do, but they are working with the guys that are working on the equipment, and they're in close quarters a lot inside the garage when they're bringing the equipment in and out. And while we try to follow the social distancing guidelines, we know that in a work environment it's not always possible. Even though we stress it, we got to maintain the focus on it, but this is purely precautionary. We hope and we want to believe that everybody's going to be okay. But as I said, I don't want to take that chance with my guys, and especially with them being out in the community and providing services to folks. We just need to make sure that we take all necessary precautions. I've already closed the garage today and advised the staff to stay out for the rest of the week. We've also closed the recycle center because those staff are in and out of the garage quite a bit too. We have a couple of the workers who work at the garage some days and work at recycle the others. So given that 2 of the employees had extensive exposure, direct exposure, and were out of state also, I believe, as if I understand correctly, where the virus came from, I felt it was best from a precautionary measure for all the staff to go home and just self-monitor for the rest of the week. Those that are asymptomatic, probably bring them back Monday. I've also encouraged all of them and their families, if they wish to do so, to go ahead and take the test, just so we know. It could be that everybody's negative, including the ones that have been exposed, and I hope that's the case, but I don't want to take any chances. We all have family and friends and loved ones who have a lot of underlying conditions that COVID-19 seems to exploit, and we don't want to continue or help facilitate that. But for now, I just ask that the citizens and the businesses that are dependent and rely on our recycle group guys to be patient. I know things are going to pile up the rest of the week. We'll try to add some more guys next week if everything turns out okay, and get all those boxes and things taken care of.
I would like to say that one thing about this does show that you need to be wearing your mask. It's very imperative that you wear a mask in our stores when you're out visiting people, and make your gatherings as small as possible. And as you can see, these family members went to a family gathering plus church services, so I'm kind of want to tell all the pastors out there that if you could, to try to cut back on your gatherings in the church and maybe go back to a lot of the virtual TV type stuff we was doing before, because I think this is going to be just the tip of the iceberg. We have so many people right now vacationing in Myrtle Beach and in Florida, and like I say, these cases came from Ohio. There wasn't cases from here. The safe thing we do right now is wear a mask and not travel. And if you do travel, the governor has asked that You quarantine for 14 days. It's voluntarily, but voluntary at this time. But if it goes any further, that it will be mandated.
Summer heat and no AC make for a miserable drive. But don't sweat it. Call Black Smoke Performance in Sayersville for inspection, diagnostics, and repair by qualified technicians with the latest technology and equipment. Don't suffer in the summer heat. Get your air conditioning fixed today at Black Smoke Performance. Car accidents don't stop. Accidents at work don't stop. Disability and SSI cases don't stop. Your legal needs and concerns don't stop for the coronavirus, and neither does McFarland and Tinker. They are open, able to schedule appointments per CDC guidelines, and always available for telephone and video conferences. Please, be safe, be smart, stay home, and don't let your legal needs fall victim to the pandemic. Call McFarland and Tinker and let them take care of them for you. All Pro understands that we are all just trying to make it through these most difficult of times, and they want you to know that they're here to help with any repairs or projects that you need done. Big or small, doesn't matter. They've got 0% financing for 18 months and long-term financing if you need it. If you need anything from a new gutter to a new house or a new garage, call All Pro Gutter Works and Construction, 349-9999. First, it was pennies, and now it's everything. Because of the pandemic, most banks haven't been able to order their weekly amount of coins for weeks. And without all of the fundraisers and activities going on, a lot of that change that would normally be in circulation isn't. So the Sayersville National Bank says now is a great time to help out and cash in. Bring your coins to either drive-through, or if you've got a lot, call ahead to give them to someone at the door and help your local businesses. And remember, you can pay all of your bills and practically do all of your banking on their mobile and online services, and all inside and lobby services are still available by appointment at Sayersville National Bank. Come to Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville and get your prescriptions filled, your over-the-counter medications, and immune system boosters, all from the safety and comfort of your own vehicle, either in their drive-thru or with their new curbside service. You can also call ahead or just download the MyGNP app, that's Good Neighbor Pharmacy, and refill and manage your prescriptions right from your device, helping you and yours stay healthy and safe. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400. Up next, tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, a couple of reminders, and from there, nightly funeral services provided by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Don't forget, kindergarten registration underway at the Sayersville Grade School. Parents, families, call 349-3411. You can, of course, come by the school and register in person. They'll make sure it's safe for you. And that is, once again, 349-3411. If you have any questions, regardless, give them a call. McGoffin County Farmers Market open Tuesdays and Fridays, 3 to 6 at the Extension office, not down on West Maple Street because of ongoing construction. So that's where you need to go. And senior vouchers can be obtained by calling the Senior Citizen Center at 349-512. WIC vouchers by calling the McGoffin County Health Department at 349-6212. And community calendar announcements and birthdays and anniversaries can be had by calling me or getting that information to me. You know the drill. I say it nightly because I have to. Any way you can. Going on to funeral service announcements, we do have one listing for this evening for 33-year-old Joshua B. Whitaker, a resident of Victor Whitaker Drive here in Sayersville, who passed away earlier today at his home. I'm told by the Sayersville Funeral Home, who's in charge of arrangements, that they are being made at this time and to be announced at a later date. Again, that is 33-year-old Joshua B. Whitaker of Sayersville. In other headlines, while I have already covered the new cases of coronavirus for McGoffin County, per his update today, Governor Beshear announced the second, again, we've heard this before, but the second highest total again since the pandemic began. 674 new cases, also 3 more deaths. The governor is saying that those 674 new cases will ultimately or likely result in at least 20 Kentucky lives lost, as the 900 and nearly 1,000 actual cases that were named Sunday will result in likely, per current data, 30 lives lost. He issued these numbers today, reminding everyone of the travel advisory he issued yesterday, the lowered social gathering mandate now down to 10 people or less, which does not affect businesses, saying that there is indeed no safe region in Kentucky. And the only way to address the spike in numbers is with statewide policies.
Here in Kentucky, our surge continues as well. Today we are reporting our second highest ever daily total with 674 new cases of COVID-19. That's not good news. And when you look at good news, you can look at our mortality rate, which we talked about the other day. One of the lowest in the country. Our mortality rate is at about 3%. That would mean if it continues to be about that, today's number might indicate the loss in the future of 20 Kentuckians. So I hope when we see 674 new cases, that we know that we have got to do better. We've got to be committed to doing better. And I see a lot of that out there. And we've had reports in from a number of counties. Harlan County's judge executive just the other day called and provided a statement we put on social media about how he is seeing the vast majority of individuals in his county go from not wearing a mask to wearing one every day in the areas that we need to see them. And we're seeing that across Kentucky. And so as we go through now to really probably this time next week, we really hope that we can see these cases to stop escalating, to plateau, and then hopefully over time to stop going down. That's what we've got to do to make sure that we are not one of these other states where their cases are exploding and we still have time to act, but we got to know that we are on that trajectory, we are on that path without everybody buying in and doing the right thing.
Now, before I leave you for the rest of a warm Tuesday evening, here's how this evening and the following days and evenings are shaping up weather-wise, brought to you by Licking Valley RECC. Only a 10% chance of showers tonight, partly cloudy, but it's another warm one out there in the neighborhood tonight. 70 degrees is going to be our nighttime low, as has been pretty much where we've been now for days and will be. And even though we're only expecting a daytime high of 88 tomorrow, yeah, heat indices will make it feel much more like 95, 96, so I just left the 88 shaded in red because another hot one in the neighborhood is staring at us tomorrow. Shower chances likely, at 80%. Thunderstorms as well. Those chances really increase as tomorrow goes on. After 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, look for them. Look for them. They'll be out there, and some isolated and scattered showers and thunderstorms continuing thereon throughout the rest of the evening. 40% chance still holding on late tomorrow night with a low of 71. For Thursday, mid-80s again, maybe seeing the humidity back off a tiny bit as this cold front comes through, but still mostly cloudy, still showers and storms. Very likely on and off throughout your Thursday. This front is kind of hitting the brakes when it gets here, and it's going to hang around for a couple of days. Friday is an improvement as we see the sun return, still in the mid-80s. You saw 86, and partly sunny and 60% chance of showers. For your weekend, Saturday, 87, mostly sunny, and a 20% chance of showers and storms, so a pretty decent weekend ahead. Shower chances are much less, down to 20% both days. 87 on your Saturday. By Sunday, we'll heat back up to around 90, mostly sunny degrees, and then we'll hover right around 90 Monday and Tuesday of next week with more sun and more shower and storm chances. And that's going to wrap it up for this Tuesday. If you missed the very start of the program, Tigersville City Council coverage, McGoffin County Fiscal Court coverage, local officials discussing, among other things, the possibility of using some of the CARES funding to be dispersed to help support local businesses, as was done in Johnson County. We'll hear that discussion and much more. And I've also got some other really important news that we're working on and waiting on some more details that I do believe we'll have for you before the end of this week. And I'll pick it up where I left off tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and thank you for watching.